Hey, fellas, I'm Gary. And if there's one thing I've learned after 58 years on this earth, it's that the people you trust the most can cut you the deepest. I thought I had a rock-solid marriage. 20 years with a woman I'd have bet my life on. But one day, I found out she'd been playing me for a fool, right under my own roof. Stick around, because this story will hit you hard. Hit that like button if you've ever been blindsided by someone you loved. And don't miss how I took back my life in the end. I met my wife, Kimberly, when I was 30 and she was 20. Back then, I was ready to settle down, build a family, put down roots. She was full of life, always laughing, and we clicked right away. We'd talk for hours about everything. Our dreams, our pasts, the kind of life we wanted. After a year of dating, I got down on one knee and proposed. Some folks might say that's too fast, but I was sure she was the one. No red flags, no doubts. Just a gut feeling that we were meant to be. We got married in a small ceremony, moved into a house my mom owned, and for a while it felt like I'd hit the jackpot. We did everything together. Cooked dinners, watched all the westerns on the couch, even fixed up the backyard with a little garden. I was happy, genuinely happy, and I thought she was too. But looking back, the biggest betrayals always come from the ones you'd never suspect. About 10 years into our marriage, something small set off the chain reaction that'd change everything. Kimberly started complaining about her phone, said it kept freezing. The battery died too fast. Apps wouldn't open. Could be sick, busy, open us. She was frustrated. So I offered to handle it. I'll take it to the shop. I told her, thinking it'd be a quick fix. The technician took one look and said repairing it would cost almost half the price of a new phone that didn't sit right with me. If I was spending that much, I might as well get her something better. So I decided to surprise her with a brand new phone. I figured she'd love it. And I'd get to see that smile I felt for all those years ago. But that decision turned my whole world upside down. Before transferring her files to the new phone, I figured I'd check the old one to make sure everything important was backed up. Photos, contacts, the usual stuff. I wasn't snooping, just being thorough. But as I scrolled through, I noticed a hidden folder tucked away in the menu, not visible with the regular files. My gut told me to open it, and when I did, my blood ran cold. There it was, a dating app, buried where she thought I'd never find it. I opened it, hands shaking, and started scrolling. Messages from other men, dozens of them, going back years. Some from when we were still dating. Playful chats, flirty comments, and some so explicit I couldn't even read them without feeling sick. She'd been laughing at their jokes, entertaining their advances, acting like she wasn't a married woman. My fingers tightened around the phone as I read line after line. Different guys, different conversations, but the same betrayal. She'd been doing this the whole time, right under my nose. I took screenshots of everything. Names, dates, the worst messages. If she tried to lie her way out of this, I'd have proof. When the technician finished the transfer, I handed him the phone, my voice steady as a rock. Go ahead, I said. But inside, I was a mess. I drove home in a daze, replaying every moment of our marriage in my head. Had she always been like this? Was I too blind to see the signs? I thought about the late nights she blamed on work, the way she'd started locking her phone, the little excuses that never quite added up. I'd brushed them off because I loved her, because I wanted to believe she valued our marriage as much as I did. But now I knew the truth. She didn't. When I got home, I handed her the new phone with a forced smile. Watching her reaction, her eyes lit up, and she threw her arms around me, kissing my cheek. Oh my God, babe, you got me a new phone. You didn't have to? She was all smiles, completely clueless about the storm coming. I let her have her moment for a few seconds. Then I cleared my throat. Yeah, I figured it was better than fixing the old one. I said, my voice calm but sharp. By the way, I looked through your phone before the transfer. Her smile vanished. Excuse me, she said, eyes narrowing. I held her gaze. I saw the dating app. Kimberly, I saw the messages. You've been talking to other guys? For a second, she just stared at me, like she was calculating her next move. Then she scoffed. You went through my phone. That's an invasion of privacy. Gary, do you not trust me? I expected that. Deflection, making it about me instead of her. But I wasn't playing her game. That's not the point, I said, my voice firm. I want to know why you're on a dating app, talking to other men. Her face shifted again. She knew I wasn't backing down. Look, it wasn't serious, she mumbled, looking away. I was just bored, I guess. I never planned to meet anyone. I took a deep breath, trying to keep my anger in check. Do you know how messed up this is? I asked. Giving attention to someone outside our marriage is how things fall apart. I don't want that for us. She looked at me, her eyes darting away like she couldn't handle the guilt. Fine, she said finally. I'll delete it. Right there in front of me. She uninstalled the app, her fingers moving fast, like that'd fix everything. I watched her do it, but something in my gut told me this wasn't the end. I wanted to believe her. I really did. So I told her, cut off every guy you've been talking to. I need to know. This won't happen again. She nodded, promising she'd stop. And for the next 8 months, I tried to move on. Every time I thought about those messages, I forced myself to let it go. I didn't want to be the paranoid husband who couldn't trust his wife. But deep down, I knew I was kidding myself. Now, fellas, if you've ever had a gut feeling something wasn't right, maybe a late night she couldn't explain, drop a comment below. Just to say me too. I'll read everyone and reply. Keep listening. Because it gets worse. I'm gonna tell you how I found out she never stopped and how I ended it for good. For 8 months, I tried to rebuild the trust I'd lost in Kimberly. Every time her phone buzzed, my stomach would knot up, but I'd tell myself to let it go. I didn't want to be that guy. The one who's always looking over her shoulder, questioning every move. I kept reminding myself that relationships need trust, that if I kept doubting her, I'd push her away. But while I was trying to hold our marriage together, she was living a double life, right under my nose. And it wasn't just messages this time. It got a whole lot uglier. One morning, I woke up feeling like hell. There was this burning, stinging pain when I went to the bathroom. Sharp, like someone was jabbing me with a hot needle. I tried to shake it off, thinking maybe I'd eaten something bad, or it was just a fluke. But as the day went on, it got worse. Every trip to the bathroom was torture, and by evening, I noticed something that made my heart sink. A thick, yellowish discharge. I stood there, staring at myself in the mirror, and it hit me like a freight train. This wasn't a random infection. My body was screaming the truth. I had an STD. The next morning, I drove straight to the hospital, my hands gripping the steering wheel so tight my knuckles turned white. I kept hoping for some other explanation. Maybe a urinary tract infection. Something, anything else. But after a full exam and lab tests, the doctor sat me down and looked me straight in the eye. You've got an STD, he said. These infections are only transmitted through sexual contact. I stared at him, waiting for him to say something else. But that was it. There was no other way around it. Kimberly had slept with someone else. I walked out of that hospital in a daze, the doctor's words echoing in my head. I'd been faithful for 20 years, never even looked at another woman. This was on her. That night, I lay in bed next to her, staring at the ceiling while my mind raced. I thought about every late night, every work meeting. Every time she'd laughed off my questions, I thought about the dating app, the messages, the promises she'd made. She'd never stopped. She'd just gotten better at hiding it. The next morning, I woke up before her, my decision already made. I went to the kitchen, poured myself a cup of coffee, and waited. When she walked in, she kissed me on the cheek like nothing was wrong. I had to fight every instinct to push her away. She poured her own coffee, sat down, took a sip, and I looked at her, dead in the eye. Kim, have you been with anyone else? Her face twisted into a glare, like I'd just insulted her. Excuse me, what kind of question is that? She snapped, setting her cup down hard. A simple one, I said, my voice steady. Have you been with another man? She leaned back, arms crossed, her eyes burning with anger. I can't believe this. Are you seriously accusing me of cheating after everything we've been through? I didn't flinch. Did you cut off the guys from that dating app like you promised? That's when she lost it. Oh my God, you're bringing that up again. I told you I deleted everything. Do you know how exhausting it is to be with someone who doesn't trust you? This is ridiculous. Gary, I nodded slowly, keeping my voice calm. Then hand me your phone. She pulled back, clutching it to her chest. No, that's an invasion of privacy. I leaned forward. All right, then let's go to the hospital and get tested together. She froze, her face going pale for a split second before she doubled down. I don't have to prove anything to you, she said, her voice sharp. That was all I needed to hear. He exhaled, pretending to back off, letting my shoulders relax like I was giving up. But the second she turned her head, I lunged across the table, grabbed the phone from her hands, and pressed it to her face to unlock it. She screamed, glowing at me, but it was too late. The screen lit up, and there it was, everything I'd feared. Messages, photos, receipts, conversations with multiple men. Some as recent as last week. Explicit texts, plans to meet up. I miss you messages. She hadn't stopped, not even after I'd begged her to. She'd been lying to my face for months, maybe years. I turned to her, my voice eerily calm. How could you be this unfaithful? I asked. She didn't apologize, didn't even try to explain. Instead, she scoffed, looked me dead in the eye, and gave me the middle finger right to my face. That was the moment something inside me snapped. Pack your stuff, I said, my voice cold as ice. This marriage is over. I want you gone before I get back. She smirked, like she thought I was bluffing. But I didn't wait for her to test me. I grabbed my keys, walked out the door, and drove straight to a buddy's place a few blocks away. I pulled over, picked up my phone, and called my lawyer. Find me the best divorce attorney in town. I told him I wanted this done fast. By the time I got to my parents' house, I knew I wasn't going back that day. They let me in, confused about why I was there so early. But I just said I needed some time. I couldn't bring myself to tell them the whole story. Not yet. 2 days later, I went back to the house. It was empty. She was gone. Didn't take long to find out where she went. She'd moved straight into another man's place. One of the guys she'd been seeing behind my back for God knows how long. That burned in a way I can't even describe. Knowing she'd had a backup plan all along. The divorce was hell. Fellas, people make it sound like it's just paperwork. But it's not. It's untangling every piece of the life you build together. Every memory, every sacrifice, every dream you had of growing old side by side. It's waking up and realizing the woman you loved was never really yours. The pain was brutal, worse than anything I'd ever felt, because I'd given her everything, my heart, my loyalty, my future, and she gave me nothing but lies in return. But I got through it. The lawyer I hired was a shark. Made sure I kept the house, the shop, everything I'd worked for. Kimberly didn't get a dime. And last I heard, she's still chasing that guy, living in some rundown apartment, trying to hold on to whatever she thinks she won. Meh, I'm doing better than ever. The shop's busier than it's been in years. Word got around town, and folks started bringing me more work, saying they respect a man who stands his ground. My boys check in on me every week. And I've got good friends who've got my back. I even started fishing again, down at the lake. Something I hadn't done since the kids were little. I sleep just fine at night now, no regrets, no looking back. Here's what I learned. Fellas, and I want you to hear this loud and clear. First, never love blindly. Love needs trust, but trust has to be earned, not handed out like candy. I trusted Kimberly because I wanted to believe in her, not because she deserved it. That was my mistake. Second, if someone disrespects you once, they'll do it again. I caught her with that dating app and let her talk me into staying. That was the moment I should have walked away. Third, trust actions, not words. She swore she'd stop, but her actions showed the truth. And finally, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Don't wait for more red flags to pile up. I'm sharing this story because I know there's a man out there who needs to hear it. If you're ignoring the signs, if your gut's telling you something's off, but you're making excuses for her, stop. Protect your heart. Protect your future. Drop your own story in the comments. I want to hear how you've handled betrayal. I'll pick one to share next week, so make it real. Hit that subscribe button and check out the video next to this one. There's more true stories waiting. Share this with your buddies too. Us men need to hear these things to keep our eyes open.